This video is all about cinematic mode on the iPhone 13. Cinematic mode is pretty interesting, and I'm trying to make it look as best as possible. This shot right now is shot with it. This entire video is shot with it. Basically a one-take music video with our friends who are in a band, Wilderado. And then at the end, after the song, I break down kind of my thoughts on cinematic mode, tell you my settings, give you some tips on what I think, kind of give you the best results in cinematic mode. So enjoy.
1, 2. I can't remember if you asked or not. I've been feeling like an astronaut, up and down, and I'm an afterthought, searching for meaning. I've been looking for a different name, but chances starting in a better way. They I say it's just my mental state. I need some healing. On and on it goes. I'm a feather when the wind blows. I'm the weather in the evening afterglow. I can hear you say it gets better with the good days. Don't you let it go and rip your heart away. I've been hearing that the West is one. The world's been lost, but the West is one. Which of us is gonna teach the sun to keep on shining? That's just something that I think about. Instead of sleep, I try to figure out when to leave and start heading south for a long winter. On and on it goes. I'm a feather when the wind blows. I'm the weather in the evening afterglow. I can hear you say it gets better with the good days. Don't you let it go and rip your heart away. All I really know is I love it when you come home. Yeah, I love it when you come home. Yeah, I love it when you come home.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a quick recap after that little one-take cinematic mode music video that was with our friends, the band in Wilderado, which, huge shout out, they just have a new full-length album that just dropped, so I'd suggest you check that out. I shot it all on an iPhone 13 Pro on the Ronin RS2 gimbal, and basically this whole video was just a big test to see, like a real-world test, how cinematic mode looked and how it handled, and some of my little tips and tricks, how I think I got a decent result. So I want to start with my gripes. Obviously 1080-30. I wish it was 1080-24. That's more cinematic, quote unquote, but it looks okay still. I'm not... The main gripe, honestly, is the lack of white balance control. So as I moved around, there's so many times in this video that you can see the white balance change quite a bit. So that's one bummer that I hope they fix a way to lock it. Same with exposure. My other main piece of advice is to change the f-stop. This whole video was shot at f5.6. That's what you're actually seeing me right now. f5.6, and obviously you can change that later. which is kind of rad, but it goes all the way to M to F2. But don't shoot with a lot of blur. I think it actually looks really bad. The edges it just looks more fake. So I'd say shoot anywhere between f8. Sorry, my dog's barking. I would suggest shooting anywhere between f8 and f4.5. That's where I found it to be the best. And the major thing I'd suggest to do as well is turn down the exposure. So in that mode, they do give you like an exposure, basically an EV compensation slider, and I've noticed it looks pretty good at -1. So phones tend to overexpose all the time. I'm sitting right in front of a window right now, so this light's decent, but I'm still at -1 because I think just at 0.0 exposure value in this mode always looks too bright. Maybe unless you're outside in really nice light. But yeah, turn that down. And fun fact, in all the camera settings in the native camera app, you can go into the settings. I'll put a screen recording up here, and you can preserve the camera settings. So in cinematic mode, in this exact instance, I keep exposure down to -1, and you can set the f-stop value so you don't have to change that later. I keep it right around f5.6. So every time I go back into the camera and open that up, it's gonna save those settings. So cinematic mode will always open with the exposure value at -1 and the f-stop where I want it, which I think is pretty cool. So you can preserve those settings, and that works across the board and all your camera options on the phone's native app, which I actually like. The gimbal, that's a DJI Ronin SC2. What's it called? Yeah, that gimbal is made for SLRs, larger cameras, so it works perfectly to handle the phone. Obviously, I could have used the smaller gimbal, but I brought that gimbal because we shot some other stuff as well, so I just had it in the studio there with me. And yeah, I just kind of moved around the guys as they were playing. It was a ton of fun, and I honestly think, even looking at it on my IMAX screen, the 1080 holds up pretty good. It's not too sharp. I mean, it's not too soft, so I'll probably upload it to YouTube. I know I can do a 4K export, but I'll most likely just do a 1080 export just so that it's accurate to what it actually is. So I hope you found this video useful or exciting or encouraging or just something entertaining to watch. But either way, the guys in Wilderado are crushing it right now in music. If you like indie rock, definitely go check their music out. Linked below. And if it's not already out, I'm planning to make a full iPhone 13 Pro cinematic cut, shots from the studio mixed with some other just pretty images from our time when we were in Oklahoma, and I think that's going to be a pretty sick video as well. But this was kind of just a separate little one take. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the little breakdown. Those are my thoughts on cinematic mode, and I think overall I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. And yeah, just it really cleans up that background quite a bit and just softens the edges a little. I think using all these modes, all these special effects very subtly is going to give you the best results. So not cranking that blur too much, but just making it look as natural as possible. Okay, peace. Double checking it. Oh, okay, there's no way to lock the white balance, so. So I like you guys close. Maybe here.
Okay, so I might move this to where. On and on it goes. I'm a feather when the wind blows. It gets better with the good days. Don't you let it go in your heart away. On and on. We'll go take two.
I feel like the filming on the first one's better.